What's up guys, I'm back again with another video, and today I have something that's kinda have not been done in my video before, and that is what are my guides uh, to new Linux user, because I never actually make a guide that's about, hey, I want to change to this OS, and I don't actually know how I will do in this kind of environment. Do you have any tips or tricks that might be useful? And also, maybe if you are really new, to Linux, and you say something like, hey, I have fall for this Linux meme, and I have been hearing really great stuff about it, how it's not like Windows where there is Calmetti installed by default, and how the what is it how the memory allocation is better than Windows kernel and all of the other stuff. Let's say you say that, and you want to maybe ask another person, in this case me, what is the distribution that I should give you, and what are the benefit of them. Well, first of all, I think if you ask something like that just in better value and just say, oh, okay, I'll use this, you should not do something like that, right? You should always use a distro, and what are the advantage of that distro. You should always know that, and don't just you ask this particular person on internet, hey, what should I use, and then he said, oh yeah, just use Fedora, or yeah, just use what is it, Ubuntu, or just use Mint. Don't do that. Well, if you have done your research beforehand, then go ahead and use it, it's fine. But anyway, first thing first that I want you to realize is that Linux is, well, first of all, it's GNU/Linux before someone actually interject, but I think everyone already knows about that memes. But first of all, if you're in Linux, never expect it to be like Windows, right? I know people sometimes like to make a Linux similar to how Windows work. They would make it looks like, oh yeah, this the Windows key, what is it, the application tray in the down hand and left side and right here, and then they make it something that looks like Windows. Basically it's just Windows 2.0, but it's actually Linux. You should never do that, alright? Because first of all, people are going to thought, oh, I mean, if you want to make your configuration looks like Windows, it's fine. But what I'm saying is that the application that you're going to use in Linux is going to differ from Windows, right? Let's just go to this. By the way, if you want to know what do I actually recommend for new people, I'm gonna say Arch, right? Just use Arch Linux. I know people are going to say, wait, what, you're going to recommend Arch Linux to new user? What are you, freaking mad lad? No. If in there is actually this one derivative, well, not derivative, there is one distro based on Arch Linux, I forgot, is Manjaro. It's let's see, if you want this box, yes, fine. But I have been hearing bad stuff about it. What are the features? What are installed? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna tell you what are the loophole in Linux, because there are lots of things that needs to be set here in this one video. First of all, if you heard of Flatpak, and then Snap, or any other what are the other, I don't care. First of all, these are the name of a universal package manager or something. I don't know why they would do this, but basically in this package manager they have all of this proprietary software, and that way you can install it in all operating system. Well, I think if you're in Linux, you don't really want to use proprietary software as much as when you're in Windows, but in any case, distro like a distribution like Ubuntu, it installed Snap by default, and then there is also I think I have tried one Gen 2 based distro that works out of the box. I forgot what is the name. I think it's Redcore Linux. I've tried this as well. This installed Flatpak right off the box as well. I guess to some people, oh yeah, that's freaking cool, Flatpak on OpenRC. But trust me, Flatpak, you should not use Flatpak and also Snap. Why is that? Because they are separate package manager, right? If you see, actually let me make this stick. If you see in your NeoFetch, well, at least in my NeoFetch, right, it's gonna only have one package manager. Well, this is taking a while. See, it only have package info as the package manager, and that's good. You only have one package manager. If you have two package manager, alright, for example, I can install Pacman in this thing. I can actually install Arch package manager, because obviously Pacman is open source, right? I can just make it by hand. I can make it in this operating system, OpenBSD, but when you do that, there is gonna be a dependency. What is the name? Hell dependency. You're going to go to a dependency hell, because you're gonna caught up with this particular program that doesn't work with this version of stuff. Like, for example, if I want to install mod, right, I would need liblua version whatever, and then even though I have installed liblua in doas package in OpenBSD package manager, I will need to install it again in Pacman, and then sometimes those library will overcome each other, and it would be a real mess, right? So having a separate having two package manager like this, it's not actually a good idea, because I know some people are going to say, oh, but it's more secure, it's basically like sandboxing, but no, it's actually going to make a mess of your system. and it's not a good idea. That's just what I wanna tell you. But uh, uh, yeah, I think that's one message that I want to come across. I want people to not use um, this distro that uses virtual package manager, wait, not virtual, universal package manager, because they are weird, right? You don't want those. If you want to install anything, just do it on your package manager, or just make it yourself and just put it in your system. If you don't know how, go to Google and try searching for stuff. If there is no way to do it, try to use a browser. Maybe, for example, if you're using Discord, you use Discord and browser instead. That would be far more better. But in any way, try not to use this Snap and Flatpak. They are weird, and you shouldn't use those. And anyway, there is also I want to go back to our topic first, and that is why do I want people to just use Arch as your first Linux experience? Because first of all, Linux is when you learn Linux, it's better to use the terminal. I know people are going to say, what the flip, you want me to use the terminal when I just installed Linux? First, I want you to actually not do anything blindly when you modify your system for the first time, right? Because you're installing stuff. So don't forget to go to YouTube or any other guide on the internet. Make sure that they are actually from a credible source. If it's in YouTube, obviously you can see what's actually happening, and probably they are explaining it as well, which is good. So try to use that when you're installing Arch Linux, or if you're dual booting into Arch. And why do I actually want people to use Arch? It's because Arch has lots of variant, right? It has XFCE, GNOME, Plasma, and you can also just use Windows Manager instead of using desktop environment. Now obviously what I'm using is DWM. It's a dynamic Windows Manager made by the Sockless team. It looks quite fine. I know it can do lots of tiling, lots of mode. But anyway, try to use Arch, because actually if you can use Windows Manager, I think that would be more nicer, because it's actually, you know what, to make things easier for you, just use Arch if you want to use Windows here, and this works for Arch Linux and Arctic Linux. Install it by this after you have installed your system. Make sure that you have internet as well. I know people are going to say people are going to be scared at the first time when they see the terminal. I think it's because they have only seen a graphical program, because Windows obviously have lots of graphical program, and they barely do anything with their terminal, right? And when they see it in the first time, they're gonna be overwhelmed. So make sure to that you know basic shell command as well, like ls for listing your directory, and then cd for changing directory, and other shell utility pwd, and don't forget to actually know what command your package manager is. In Arch obviously sudo pacman -s for installing, -sy for what is it, for updating your repository, and u for updating your system. And yeah, try to do those basic things. Now, why do I want people to use the terminal more when you are in Linux, right? Because people are going people are going to be overwhelmed. I came here because I thought Windows is pre-loaded and I want to use Linux, but now you're telling me to use Arch Linux and be what is it? Be customized. No, be oh god, I'm not good with word here, but I want you to use Arch Linux, because Arch Linux installation is it's manual, it's not automated. That way you know what's actually happening to your system, what you're installing when you're installing the base system, what will happen to it. You need to actually know all of this stuff in order to know your system better. And once you know them, Linux can actually be more easier to you. And I also want people to do this because there are lots of things that can be done in the terminal that cannot be done in a graphical environment, because in the terminal most of the thing that you can do is extensible, like you can torrent your file in the terminal with transmission client, and then you can also what else is there? You can go pull down Pulse Mixer or Alsa Mixer to change your oops, I think that's going to be messing up my input voice, but I hope you don't mind that too much. But what else is there that you can do in terminal? Oh yeah, there is also this one game that I just downloaded. Where is it? Games ls. It's a 2048 game. There you go, made by AMD Bartek with the what is the name? Oh, what the flip? That thing is going off. Oh, there you go. Hey, what the flip? Come back here, bro. Oh, there you go. Right. You can do all kind of stuff in the terminal. I think most people that is new to Linux is going to feel like, oh, I'm look at me, I'm using the terminal, I'm hacking, holy shit. No bro, you're not. You're just accessing your system in the terminal. It's not something illegal. Don't worry about it. Unless you're actually doing something illegal, yeah, like you're running up some kind of program that is actually for hacking. But unless you're actually doing that, you're fine with using the terminal. There is no right for people to stop you from using the terminal, because terminal is obviously very fast rather than using the graphical program. And yeah, that's it. And if you're in Linux, you should always try to use the terminal, because first of all, it's fast, obviously, and second of all, your package manager, it's going to be in the terminal anyway. Like in Debian, it would be apt. Let's go to here. I still want to play that game. Sudo up or apt-get and so on, but I think it's up now. Up install. I kind of forgot. It has been a while since I used Debian, right? But you know what? That's actually a great point. Why do I want people to use Arch instead of Debian? Because in Arch, most of the program are new. It's up to date. It's the newest one, and that way you don't have to worry about, oh, this dependency is not working with that, or other stuff, because in one way or another you can just what is the name, you can make new, you can compile it again. Oh yeah, actually another point is that in Arch you have the Arch user repository, and I know this is going to be lots of new information for the new user, but you need to know all this stuff to actually use the power of Arch to your to the limits. But anyway, that's it. That's why I recommend you to use Arch as your first distro. You can install lots of stuff on it. It has lots of compatible program. Like there is even Zoom here actually in the AUR. Let's see, Zoom meeting, which I think most other distro will not able to install, but you can install Zoom here using the Arch user repository. But anyway, yeah, you still have lots of other proprietary program that you can use. But that's it. That's my video on what should new user do when they are installing Linux. And I'll see you in the next video, and I will probably try to finish this. But yeah, it's the video is going to be late probably. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And see you. Have a nice rest of your day.